Hello? Hey, what's going on? How are you? Oh, haven't talked to her in about a week. Wow, what's going on? Hmm? Don't play like that. What are you talking about? She might be dead. Psst. Man, if anything is wrong with my mom, I, all right, I'm on my way. Isn't that a traumatic way of hearing about how your mom may or may not be fighting for her life? Talk about a traumatic experience. What's up, you guys? It's your girl Tia Simone, also known as Tia with a T. It doesn't matter which one you call me, just as long as you know that you have just tuned in to Rise Under the Heat podcast. In today's episode of Rise Under the Heat, I'm hoping to help you rise under the heat of trauma. Many people have experienced trauma. Many of us do, many of us will. I'm pretty sure everyone will before they go. Um, but many of us don't really know how to put the pieces back together after crazy situations happen. Fortunately, I was able to do that. So I'm hoping to give you guys a couple of tips on what I was able to do to help me keep my sanity. So if that's something that you guys are interested in knowing and figuring out and finding out, stay tuned. All right, so to begin our discussion, we're just going to ask the question, what is trauma? I'll give you some time to ponder on that question. I mean, many of us think we know what trauma is. Many of us are currently going through traumatic experiences, but don't identify those things as traumatic experiences. So, do we really know what trauma is? So let's simplify it. Looking at a regular Google definition, what is trauma? Simply defined as a deeply distressing or disturbing event. Trauma results from an event or series of events or a set of circumstances experienced by an individual as physically or emotionally harmful or life-threatening with life-lasting adverse effects on the individual's functioning and mental, physical, social, emotional, or spiritual well-being. Wow. Trauma really affects us in so many different ways. I can honestly say for myself, I was definitely affected in all those ways. When it came to me functioning, when I initially heard that my mom had been killed because I drove up to the house where she, you know, laid, I couldn't move. I was just in shock. I couldn't believe that had actually happened. I'm like, what are you talking about? But then I saw it for myself, and there was no coming back from that. Um, as far as my mental, oh wow, I just had to keep doing something. It was constantly something to do because not only was it a death of a loved one, it was also a murder case. So, and then I had to get funeral arrangements and things like that. It was so hectic. It was stressful. Then people were calling me. So mentally, I was not there. I had so much going on. I didn't want to wash up. I didn't want to shower. Oh man. Like, when I tell you I was a wreck, I was a wreck. When it came to the physical part, I was definitely feeling, how you say, weak. I wasn't eating. Socially, didn't want to be around anybody. Emotionally, crying, like spazzing, a little bit of everything. In my spiritual well-being, I just wanted to be I wanted to be with her so bad. I just wanted to feel her some type of way, and I really did. So that's just a whole nother story. As far as types of trauma, you have acute trauma, which is a single event, like in my situation. Chronic trauma, consistent events, and it could be abuse. Then you have complex trauma, which are how you say a natural disaster or a combination of acute or chronic trauma. So a natural disaster would be acute, but it's complex because it can last over time. Its effects, if your family isn't rich or have money and things. Um, but long story short, since it's Black History Month, I might as well throw it in there that Black people have been experiencing a lot of mental. At first, we were experiencing physical abuse over generations, and then we started. We're currently in the mental state of things. So it started with American chattel slavery, then Jim Crowism, with the Great Migration next, hyper ghettoism in prison, and then you have the institutionalized generation. So not only do we have our own personal situations, we also have this hegemony of social contracts to just keep us down. Have fun. But what can I say? It's not all bad, because we will rise. We will rise under this heat. It's not over. They think they got us, but they don't have us. So if you have one of those types of trauma, how do you think that you can get over it? How do you think that you can rise above it? For me, what I had to do initially was to be around people who made me feel safe. My mother was the only person who made me feel safe and, at home, and that's still honestly the truth. So it's like now that I don't have my mom, it's like, wow, my home is wherever I am, and it's also wherever I feel the most comfortable at. So I had to surround myself with those type of feelings, those type of beings, those type of people. Thank you, Aunt Shakira. Thank you, Uncle Bobby. Thank you, Miss Pawaska. You know what I'm saying? Thank you to those people who came over and did their thing, and to my friends who I don't even speak to often who came and helped out. Thank y'all so much. You had to also get rid of things. Like, my mom was murdered, so I had to let go of the feelings of, hating him and being envious. I don't think envious is the word. Just feeling really revengeful, angry, mad. I didn't want to feel that way. And the funny thing about it is that I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel that way, even when it happened, because I already knew the type of person he was before it even happened. So it was not that big of a surprise because he had threatened me too. So just had to get out of there, sis. Also, make sure you know what happened. With the situation, I didn't know everything that happened, so I had to just figure out all the clues. Had to play investigator just the same as the police were. Going back this is on the table. This is on the table. If she just got home, she does this. It's my mother. I know her steps. Your parents. We all have habits. Humans are creatures of habit. So I know my mom. But I just had to make sure I had everything straight before I went, running my mouth to somebody or, I just wanted to make sure I had my facts straight before I said anything to anybody, because it was a lot of stories out there, but which one is really the truth? And, that's only something that my mom, him, and God knows. And that's the honest to goodness truth. And you want to be involved with survivors if you want to rise under the heat of trauma. I've met a few different people who have, maybe lost a son or lost a parent, or maybe they lost a parent at the same age I was, but now they're an older person. Speaking to those people really helped me. It just really helped me, because you can't explain how you feel and what's going through your head to somebody who's never been through this situation. And people really, really will try to relate with you even though they have no idea what you're talking about. You're like, sis, you don't. No, you don't. It's okay if you don't relate. It's okay to not relate. For people who are trying to help somebody who just went through something, just be there. Just be a listening ear. Don't compare your stuff to their stuff. Like, that was one of the most annoying things that people did, was compare what they were going through. So if you're going through something, try to talk to someone who has been through this situation, because talking to people who haven't been through it, this not, it can help, but it can't help. And it's not always relatives who will be the best people to talk to. So next, you want to ask for support. If you don't have any support, ask for it. If you haven't been receiving it, ask for it. Closed mouths don't get fed. You have to go out there and try to figure out, like, hey, I'm being hit on. Where are the domestic violence, groups in my area? A simple Google search. People don't use Google as often as we should. Like, it's the information superhighway. Like, seriously, it's not just a hashtag. It's not for fun. It's real. It's a thing. So ask for support. Find support. Look in the newspaper, library bulletin boards, state government buildings, places like that. You can find lots of support. You also want to make sure you get some self-care in there. And when I say self-care, I mean, maybe you're going to get your nails done. Maybe you like to go get your hair done. Maybe you want to get a pedicure. Maybe you want to just relax in the pool. Maybe you want to, like, go out for like a weekend and just go somewhere else, get a hotel room. Just love yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of those real good love yourself weekends where you don't do nothing. You don't answer the phone. Don't ask me to go nowhere. I'm getting room service. Just make sure you take time to love yourself. Maybe it's going in nature and just walking in a trail. Like, who doesn't like walking on the trail? If you don't like walking on the trail, you just haven't been to the right trail, okay? Like, you got the little, woo! All I'm saying is, that's always been something that I've loved to do. It's always brought me a peace of mind. Not so much the pedicure and stuff, because, the fumes and everything. But once I get my nails done and then I go outside, I'm like, wow, look at the light shining on my nice new manicure. Yeah. Those moments are ones that last forever. What's next? You can also get into a routine. So after my mom passed, it was so hard for me to get back into my routine of things, into stuff that I like to do, that I'm used to doing. What my life was before this situation happened. So pretty much, once I was able to, like, kind of get back to work, pick up a few more days, I pretty much, tried to start going to work out. If I couldn't find a day to work out, better yet, my dog helped me keep a routine. If it wasn't for him, many days I would not have gotten up out the bed. Him whining, me not wanting poop on my floor, were all parts of how I stayed on a routine. Had to get up, take him out. Before I go to sleep, make sure I take him out. And each time I'm getting, nature, I'm getting that, that feeling. Even though I hate to get up, especially when it's freezing outside. I just really enjoyed the fact that I was able to woosah, just get all of that good air in, get that, a little bit of exercise in, and just get out of my bed, because some days, you guys, I was just pitiful. It was really sad. And if you want to do some normal things with friends, going out to eat, you want to do some normal things. So going out to eat, going grocery shopping, make sure you stay normal. Like, don't turn to a hoarder. Don't, start binge eating. Stay normal. You don't want to gain a whole bunch of weight. Like, okay, all right, look who's talking. I gained about, 10, 15 pounds or whatever. But, I'm trying to maintain it by going to work out and everything. But, you want to stay normal. You don't want to make any super drastic changes because it's going to throw you off. Um, it's just hard to stay normal when tragic events happen. But it's not impossible to do so with the help of, asking for with the help of people who are survivors, you asking for support. If you get into a routine, you won't get stagnant. If you do some normal things, you'll feel normal. You'll try to get back into the swing of things. And you also have to give yourself time. If you don't give yourself time, you're definitely not gonna be able to do any of these things on the list, honestly. So that's why I said that one first, and I want to end with that one because there is no time limit on when you're finished grieving. I literally was busting out crying at 3-4 o'clock in the morning a couple nights ago, and it's almost been 2 years in April. And look, sometimes I just cannot hold my composure when you spend so long not crying and just trying to be so strong about it. Sometimes it really hits you. It honestly feels like a dream. Like, traumatic experiences oftentimes feel like a dream, and other people have to tell you, like, no, you went through that. Like, yeah, that happened to you. And you're like, no, did it? No. And then you try to say it's okay. And look, that's just a whole nother story, but the positive thing is to stay positive. That's silly. You just have to stay positive through the whole situation. Like, negativity is not gonna help you out. I can't lie, I was being negative for a hot second because I just felt like the world was against me. I just didn't know who to trust. I'm sorry to anybody who I offended. I was just going through a lot, and some people just really couldn't understand it. Alright, you guys. Alright. And that is King. Okay. And person outside. Alright, it's important to rise above trauma. So lastly, I want to tell you guys why it's important to rise above trauma. It's important to rise above trauma because you owe it to yourself to be a better you. Yep, I said it. Yes, it's corny. It's very corny. But it's the truth. You cannot help anyone else unless you help yourself first. So, by doing that self-care, doing all those things I mentioned, you will be able to create a better you because you deserve it. With that being said, you'll be able to help people in the future become better thems. I said better thems. You'll be able to help other people. You never know whose life you'll be able to help change, who will change your life. So you owe it to other people as well. That's just like the great human. I don't know what's so great about having experience and knowledge if you're not willing to share it with other people. And just know that when you go over your great mountain, there will be people there cheering for you. Like, they would definitely be there excited, like, wow, I can't believe you went through this, you went through that. Like, people tell me all the time, you are so strong. And sometimes I'm just like, no, I just did what I felt like I had to do. And I just had to keep it together, But sometimes you feel like I was trained for this. I've been training for this moment. It's really, traumatic experiences are really strange, and they really wake you up. Mine definitely matured me a lot. It has me focused on my needs versus my wants, and just trying to keep a solid foundation within myself versus relying on other people. But nonetheless, I hope that you guys have learned a little something. I know I did a little bit of rambling, but I'm hoping that you guys learned how to rise under the heat of trauma and why it's important for you to do so. If you like what you heard, follow me at Rise Under the Heat on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, follow my personal page at Tia with the T at Instagram.com. Until we meet again, it's your girl Tia with the T, signing off.